This morning, a Johnson County man had his jury trial pushed back in a federal video voyeurism case. And affordability is in full focus in Washington, with President Trump continuing to tout his economic successes.
Dedicated to Eastern and Southern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News This Morning.
Good morning, I'm Caroline Mueller. It is Thursday, December 11th, and the time is now 6 a.m. Let's go ahead and check in with meteorologist Megan Dusmal for a look at your forecast this morning. Megan, it was definitely feeling like winter out there this morning. I busted out the long sleeves today because I will be outside, unfortunately.
Yeah, I unfortunately am not wearing long sleeves, but that's why I'm grateful for heating and central heating. It's really nice. But in terms of what you're looking at today, you might want to stick with a heated building and stay indoors because it's very chilly this morning. Mixture of the low 30s, some folks even hanging out in the upper 20s, 29 in Jackson, 28 in Logan. But by the time we head into the afternoon, not much improvement is going to be on the way as those high temperatures are still going to stay in the 30s, low 30s for our far northern counties, some mid 30s for our middle counties, and for our southern counties, that's where you're seeing chances for upper 30s. And we are still hanging on to some snow this morning, so keep that in mind if you're heading out the door this morning. Drive carefully on those roads because it can be very difficult at times, especially if you are traveling over bridges. Caroline.
Thanks, Megan. We continue to follow a deadly shooting at Kentucky State University in Frankfort. Officials with the Frankfort Police Department responded Tuesday just after 3 p.m. 19-year-old John Darrell Fox Jr. of Indianapolis was killed in that shooting. Another student was seriously injured and is still in the ICU. Police arrested 48-year-old Jacob Lee Bard of Evansville, Indiana. He's charged with murder and first-degree assault. Police say Bard is the parent of a student at KSU, but they couldn't specify why he was on campus. Although the KSU community is mourning the loss of a classmate, gun violence nationwide is declining. The Gun Violence Archive reports shootings have declined during the last 4 years. Gun Violence Archive Executive Director Mark Bryant says gun violence peaked in 2021 and 2022, but the numbers show significant improvements.
This last 2 years, we've been very fortunate. We've been seeing numbers going down compared to last year, and we're down 20%, which is awesome.
Bryant credits lawmakers, community groups, and security. But what happened at KSU shows the work is not done. He says it's hard to predict if this downward trend will continue. A Johnson County man had his jury trial pushed back in a federal video voyeurism case. A judge delayed the trial for Henry Richer that had been scheduled for next month. Richer was arrested back in September. Police say he admitted to placing cameras in a bedroom and bathroom with the intention of recording a 15-year-old girl dressing and showering. A status conference was scheduled for January 12th in Ashland. Tensions are ratcheting up again in the Caribbean after the U.S. seized a sanctioned Venezuela oil tanker Wednesday, not long after it left port. Venezuela is calling the seizure a serious international crime, and it's vowing to defend its homeland. A senior military official and a source familiar with the matter say the U.S. is contemplating more operations like this one amid a U.S. military buildup aimed at stopping drug trafficking.
It was seized for a very good reason. I guess so. We're going to keep the...
In an interview with Politico this week, President Trump issued a warning to Venezuelan leader Nicolas Maduro. Maduro has accused the Trump administration of pressing for a regime change in order to control the country's oil reserves. This week, affordability is in full focus in Washington. Lawmakers are taking up opposing plans to tackle health care costs. Meanwhile, President Trump continues to defend his administration's efforts at strengthening the economy. CBS's Jared Hill has more.
Today in the Senate, a split on health care.
We're fighting to reduce premiums, and specifically on the Affordable Care Act.
The chamber set to vote on dueling bills as COVID-era health care subsidies are expected to skyrocket at the end of the year. Dems pushing for an extension, Republicans a revamp.
It delivers the benefit directly to the patient, not to the insurance company, and it does it in a way that actually saves money.
Neither is expected to pass. It's the latest focus on pocketbook issues for everyday Americans. In an economic speech in Pennsylvania,
The new word is affordability.
President Trump roasted Democrats for their focus on the issue, blaming them for higher prices, as he continued Wednesday to tout his administration's successes.
The economy is roaring. I think the economy is only going to go, better with all this money pouring in.
At a grocery store in Pennsylvania, shoppers said they're still hurting.
Prices are just too high. Everything is too high.
In its focus on immigration, Wednesday, the White House also launched the website for an expedited visa program dubbed the Trump Gold Card, selling for at least $1 million to visitors who provide a substantial benefit to the U.S.
All funds go to the United States government. Could be a tremendous amount of money.
Back on Capitol Hill, the House cleared the National Defense Authorization Act. The $900 billion policy would increase pay for troops, repeal sanctions on Syria, and provide military aid to Ukraine. Next, it heads to the Senate for a vote. Jared Hill, CBS News.
In other news surrounding the president, a federal judge has said the Trump administration must end its deployment of California National Guard troops in Los Angeles. The vote on health care bills aim to address rising health insurance costs that could happen if Affordable Care Act subsidies expire at the end of the year. Two dueling Democratic and Republican plans are set to be voted on, but both sides remain bitterly divided. Democrats are pleading with their Republican colleagues to vote for their plan, which extends the expiring COVID-era insurance credits by 3 years.
Tomorrow is a moment of truth for the Republicans here in the Senate. Are they going to bring health care costs down, or will they sit by and let premiums explode?
Republicans could just do the right thing this week. They could vote for a simple bill to just postpone this disaster.
But Republicans are not buying that argument, saying the Democrats' plan does nothing to reform the Affordable Care Act. Instead, they're now pushing for their own plan, created by Senate Health Committee Chairman Bill Cassidy and Senator Mike Crapo.
If you will, we're putting money in your pocket to pay for the insurance policy out of pocket. It works within the framework of what Democrats have created. I don't see why they're opposed to it. Again, we're lowering premiums by 11%. We're giving people money in their pocket. I don't know why they're opposing.
Neither bill is expected to get the 60 votes needed to pass the Senate, likely leaving Americans with no clear path on tackling the higher health insurance costs.
Some folks out and about are dealing with a little bit of snow this morning. So let's look at satellite radar and just pinpoint where those folks seeing some of the heaviest snow are. I mean, we're talking portions of southern Perry County as well as eastern Leslie County. And as you're traveling in between Harlan and Letcher County, still hanging on to some of those heavier snowfall chances, as well as in Wayne County and Mingo County, West Virginia. Now we'll continue to watch that move out by about that 9 o'clock time frame this morning, but temperatures today won't be making too much of a jump from the lows in the low 30s to the highs, which will be in the mid to upper 30s. So again, not too much of a change in those temperatures. It's going to be cold all day long. Caroline.
Thank you, Megan. And thank you for getting your day started with us here on Mountain News this morning. Still to come, a chocolate shop is changing lives through its hiring practices. We'll explain in The Good Side.